What's good, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning into the channel once again, and thank you for the support the channel has been receiving. I'm really appreciative of it. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing and turning on your post notifications. It would mean a lot to me. And also, before we dive into today's topic in today's video, um, I have recently published an ebook on Amazon. It is called Hope for the Youth, and in that book, I talk a little bit about my personal experience, a little bit about life philosophy, about working towards a better mindset, a better lifestyle, and all of those types of things, guys. It's a really interesting book, and I'm sure a lot of you will benefit from it, not only physically but also mentally and spiritually, which is really important. And that was the whole goal with the book in the first place, is to share that emotional and mental support with people as best I can. Now, today's topic is all about navigating troubled waters. Now, what do we do? By troubled waters, simply a metaphor for referring to, those times where life gets you down, where you feel like nothing's going your way, where you feel like you do everything in your power to succeed, but yet it doesn't come to you. Now, this is a very tricky situation. In fact, recently I've been in a slump myself, and excuse me, although it may not look like that in the videos, it gets to me. And we're just human, so we gotta learn to deal with negativity. But essentially, you gotta ask yourself, well, there are a few steps that we can take here. And in the midst of it all, I've accidentally define the problem at number three instead of number one. I do not know why, but essentially, the first thing that you have to do is define the problem. Is your problem that you're experiencing, is it life threatening? Is it something that's going to alter your future drastically? Is it is it something minor? Is it a simple argument that you had, right? So first define the problem, find exactly out what is bothering you. Then we jump to number one. Focus on the positive side of things. So there's always two sides to a coin, two sides of a story, silver lining to each cloud, whatever it may be. You know all of those metaphors, all of those wonderful metaphors. But essentially, there's always a positive, right? And rather than seeing a challenge or an obstacle as something bad and something that can stunt your growth or prohibit you from going any further, see it as a challenge to grow as a person, right? It takes a lot of, how can I say this, patience and courage to adopt that type of mindset, because most people, when they hit a wall, they immediately decide it's too much effort to go over that wall. I'm just going to stay on this side of the wall instead of, you know, climbing over the wall, making a plan, building a ladder, climbing over the wall, right? So essentially, what you have to do is focus on the positive side, because things could always be worse, right? If you have a roof over your head, if you have food to eat, if you have a bed to sleep in, that's more than almost a majority of the world's population have. Many people go to bed hungry. They don't even have a bed to sleep in. It's that bad. So when a problem faces you, whether it be in your career, whether it be with entrepreneurship, whether it be in your personal life, try and look at it as an opportunity to improve yourself. See it as a challenge to develop your character rather than it being something negative. Because negativity, I promise you, is not going to get you anywhere. You might feel like it's necessary to be down in the dumps and you just want to sit and lay in bed all day and do whatever. But essentially, that's not going to make the problem disappear. The problem is always going to be there, but how you handle it is what counts. The second point that I need to make is avoid noise, meaning avoid things that actually make that problem worse. You get these people that always try and agitate a problem. Even they make a mountain out of a molehill, right? That's the correct phrase to use here. You got to stay away from those people. Anything or anyone that makes your situation worse than it actually is, or that tries to make it seem worse than it actually is, stay away from them. Get rid of them. Isolate yourself from them. Whatever you may do, but it's going to be the best choice you've ever made. 3, we've covered. 4 is place the problem in context. Like I said before, with defining the problem, is the problem life threatening? If it is kind of urgent, you need to address it immediately. If it's not life threatening, if it's not urgent, there's no need to worry about it. Do not worry about things that are outside of your control. We as humans, we have a nature to focus on the negative rather than the positive. We always want to make a story out where there's no story, if we can say it like that, right? So place your problem in context. If it's not important, if it's a simple argument you had at the grocery store, just leave it. Just leave it. Take your 5-minute rant and then end it, cut it out of your life. It's unnecessary baggage that you're going to drag with you like a chain or a shackle. It's going to shackle you down. It's going to prevent you from going forward. Last but not least, will it affect the future? Will your problem affect the future? Is it Think of this. Remember that thing that you worried about a year ago, 2 years ago, 6 months ago? Was it so bad that you thought it was? Or did everything eventually turn out like it was supposed to? And that's a major question that I learned to ask myself is, and I realized that I can't even remember what I worried about a year ago. And that just shows you that it's irrelevant. In the bigger scheme of things, little or few problems have a majorly long impact. Instead, except if you make it worse than it is, right? Guys, navigating troubled waters, a little bit of life philosophy for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the video. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And of course, we'll see you in the next one.